Well, hello again. Once again, it's time for a new song, testimony and story. This one's about keeping in touch. Again, my friend and I wrote this song together, D.C. Johnson. And we've noticed so much that people don't keep in touch like they used to. The world is so fast and vast that you go to funerals and you hear somebody say, "Oh, I wished I could have went and saw him a few more times before he died," or similar stories to that. You hear it too often. It's too bad they didn't keep in touch. A man knocked on my door, said, "Hello, Mr. Smith. I represent your late grandma, and I'm bringing you this gift. I've looked for you 3 years now. Your grandma loved you very much. She wished to see you one last time. You should have kept in touch." Well, that night I had a dream, troubled by my behavior. I realize now the way that I neglected grandma is much the same way I treat the Savior. And in the dream the Lord spoke to me, said, "Son, I know why you're troubled so much. Your grandma and I, we both agree, kinfolk ought to keep in touch. Keeping in touch, keeping in touch, keeping in touch with the Savior. Every day we ought to pray and stay in touch with the Savior. Keeping in touch, keeping in touch, keeping in touch with the Savior. Every day be sure and pray and stay in touch with the Savior." Well, I learned a lot of Christ since then, things I didn't know before. I'd received him as my Savior a long time ago, but I denied him as my Lord. I learned a lot of my Redeemer's heart, of his love and grace and such. But you know, the one thing that he desires the most is that all his kinfolk keep in touch. Keeping in touch, keeping in touch, keeping in touch with the Savior. Every day we ought to pray and stay in touch with the Savior. Keeping in touch, keeping in touch, keeping in touch with the Savior. Every day be sure and pray and stay in touch with the Savior. That song has a little story behind it about inheritances. So many people forfeit their inheritance. They lose it. All because they didn't keep in touch. No one knew where to find them, couldn't locate them, to tell them about their fortune. And so they lived and died without ever attaining to it. There's so much to gain by knowing God better and better and staying in touch. There's so much to gain by staying in touch with your cousins, aunts, and uncles, and your neighbors, and your friends. You need to stay in touch. Never lose that moment. Don't get out of touch, get in touch. And we're so glad you stopped by today for another song, testimony, and story. God bless you, and we'll see you again soon.